I'm happy to report that the Range Rover is back. We're going to go for a short drive and discuss exactly what has been going on with this car. Well, I guess it's DAB and then Kiss Street, and take the car out for a short spin. Welcome to Malham. Behind you can see Malham Cove. We have the L322 that we've brought into the heart of the Yorkshire Dales for a nice drive. The car is driving absolutely beautifully, as beautiful as the Cove. As you can see, loads of people driving down to go for a walk and then have a hearty lunch. The L322 is driving more or less perfectly. We'll just see if we can turn it on. I'll just jump in here and very annoying. It complains if you open the door. I wish there was a way to turn that off. But the car is purring away. Let's see if we can open up the engine. I'll just place the camera on the engine, see if it wobbles. No, not really. The car, as I say, is driving like a brand new car, which isn't that much of a surprise since we've had a full engine rebuild. But this is turning out to be one of the best projects that I've worked on, because not only is the car such a brilliant drive, it is more or less perfect. Hello, I'm at New Friars Garth Farm in the heart of Yorkshire. Behind me we have Malham Cove. I thought I'd take the opportunity to return here to give you an update on the Range Rover. It's now been 14 months since I purchased this car as one of the cheapest available Range Rovers in the UK. The car cost me $2,500, and now after a year the car is more or less 100% ready. It's just cosmetic issues that are left in the car, and they really won't take too long to remedy, apart from just some new wheels. It's just going to be some of the items that basically have had quite a little bit of wear, you know, like the seats and the usual suspects really in any sort of 10-year-old 100,000 mile plus car. So I thought I'd really go through the lessons that I've learned. I thought I'd go through the good, the bad and the ugly, essentially. So the first issue that has caused most of the delays is that there now basically is a 3-month waiting list when ordering parts. So if you're looking to order parts to repair a car, it's going to take 6 to 12 weeks for those parts to arrive, irrespective really of what time of year you order the parts, and irrespective of what brand. So it doesn't matter if it's a Land Rover or a BMW. While this car's been waiting to be repaired, I've also got another BMW that took the best part of 4 months, JCT 600, to get repaired because we were waiting for OEM parts to be delivered from Germany. The same issue affects Range Rover. You're basically waiting months and months if you're going to source the parts cheaply. Otherwise, you're going to pay a premium to get those parts, within a week or two. And obviously, that is pretty much going to double or triple the overall costs. So it's a big problem. It's not anything I ever saw in the past. I've had my BMW serviced by JCT 600 for the last 10 or so years, and they more or less had the fix the next day. I've never had a situation where there have been delays and delays and delays, but that's exactly where we are. So this Range Rover obviously has needed quite a few parts, whether it was the engine, whether it was the bearings, the conrod, the piston, and all the peripherals that you need to replace when you're rebuilding an engine. So it ended up taking the best part of 5 to 6 months, not because the car mechanic was slow or that he was busy. Obviously he is busy, and I'll explain why next, but because it just takes forever to get the parts. So if you're looking to do YouTube, if you're looking to create content, this is a real problem, because you're really going to have to try and purchase all the parts prior before you start recording. Otherwise the delays just break up the flow really of the videos when you're releasing them on YouTube, and you end up losing loads of viewers. I was averaging 500-600 hours a month at one stage on YouTube, but that's gone down to maybe 70 hours a month because of the infrequent updates. So that's something you need to be aware about if you're looking to buy a cheap Range Rover, or cheap any car really. The reality now is that parts are very, very time consuming to source. Now the next issue that has caused most of the delays is that this Range Rover was in a queue, and that queue was filled with other Range Rovers and Land Rovers and Jaguars. Basically, you want to avoid the Igenium engine. Now, I was taken into the garage by the technician who repaired this car, and he told me that for the best part of the last year, all he's working on are 40,000 mile Range Rover Velars or Discoveries or Jaguar XEs, or the new sort of Jaguar sort of SUV, specifically the one with the 2-litre engine. Now if you go to look at one of these cars, it's big and imposing like this, but you open sort of the bonnet and it's got a tiny 2-litre engine. Now these engines are failing. They continue to fail basically because they're just not powerful enough to be powering a huge car like this. So if you really are seeking problems, if you're looking to just be miserable, go and buy one of these Igenium engines. So you want to avoid Igenium engines, specifically the 2-litre ones, that basically are just so overworked with the forced induction that they basically barely make it to 40,000 miles. Now this car was waiting in a queue where most of the cars are worth 40, 50, 60,000 pounds. The cars are 2, 3, 4 years old. They've only done 30,000, 40,000 miles, and they need a full engine rebuild. So we're talking complete not like what this engine had, where it was just the one piston that they needed to replace and a con rod here, and then the rest was just a bit of crank seal, a new head gasket and new bearings, and you're done. This is everything. It's a complete rebuild of the Igenium engine, so they are absolutely to be avoided, and unfortunately it's going to be the engine that really causes Land Rover to suffer a bad reputation. So when people say that Land Rovers are unreliable or Range Rovers are reliable, the answer is really, it depends. Yeah, if you go for the engine in this car, you're not going to have any problems. If you go for one of these Igenium engines, you are going to be facing some astronomical engine rebuild costs if you are no longer under warranty. So if you're going to purchase one of those cars, ensure that it at least is under some warranty, but even if it is still under warranty, the problems are that it is going to go kaput really by the time you get to 40,000 miles. And even if you rebuild it at 40,000 miles, it will barely make it to 80,000 miles, and it's not the car that you want to buy when it approaches sort of 70, 80, 90,000 miles anyway. So it's a dramatically poor engine. I don't know what's happened really since 2004. We seem to have had 100 years of continuous automotive progress, where the engine and the body of the car has been constantly improving, getting better and better, more and more powerful. And then ever since 2005, we're now in a world where no more engineering exists, and everything that's happening in the automotive world is perplexing. It doesn't make sense. In fact, it's no longer about engineering, it's about something else. Whatever that is, I don't know. Obviously around a year ago when I purchased the car, it was a big gamble, but there is the lesson. If you take a big gamble, sometimes you can get a big win, and that's exactly what we have here with this L322. As I say, here we are at Malham. That limestone deposit has been around for millions and millions of years. Nice fluffy clouds, and obviously sheep everywhere. So we're now going to head back home and enjoy a drive through the countryside. So there's a ton of cosmetic work that's left to do. We're going to start off with the wheels. I'm just about to go drop the car off for the alloys to be refurbed. We'll have a quick look at them. I've already had another keyed. So this is the brand new one. This is the old one. In fact, the new one's absolutely gorgeous. It's much sleeker than the older one. They're both branded. That costs maybe £165 basically to get that keyed at a professional, but at least we've now got two keys. I hate really having just a single key, and here you can see the difference really between these keys. This is much larger than this, which is the newer one. Everything is on the one side. This one here has got two sides, and it's a little bit bigger and clunkier. This is much nicer. As I mentioned, this was 165, I think 170 quid to get this cut. So much nicer than the previous key, and a little bit sleeker as well. As I've mentioned, it's going to be the wheels that are next. As far as the engine is concerned, the technician said they've checked everything and there's absolutely nothing that needs to be done on the engine, and as I've mentioned, it's running really well. I'm pretty certain, as I mentioned, if you were to put a pound coin it would stay stationary. So the engine's running well. I'd say the front is more or less perfect. We've already replaced the number plate. It's just going to be, yeah, as I say, minor things. So the wheels are really corroded. These centers, especially on the other side, the wheel hub cap won't even cling onto the wheel, it's that corroded. I've never really liked refurbished wheels because in general the colour never really looks like the OEM one, but refurb wheels are much better than, as I say, corroded wheels. So I've been quoted £300 for all four, which is significantly less than the £1,000 to get some OEM second-hand Westminster wheels, so a good £700 less. And I do need to try and just keep the costs low, because it's been a long time and I think it's now time to really enjoy the car. At the rear of the car, the third brake light is broken, so that needs to be replaced. In fact, let's just have a quick whiz around and I'll just show you what's left. So we'll just take this off. So yeah, driver side front, you can see there's corrosion really around the wheel, and these bolts probably could do with being replaced as well. This exhaust pipe is painted black, and you can see there's loads of chips there, so that could do with being painted again. The rear wheel, loads of corrosion in the centre there, and you can see there's corrosion around the wheel there, and corrosion there, and just corrosion pretty much all around the wheel. If we look at the back here, apart from some bird foul, here is the third brake. You can see there's a crack there. I believe you can get a replacement one of these on eBay for £20 to £30. It looks reasonably close to OEM. I'm not sure who the OEM manufacturer is for this third brake light, so if you know who the OEM manufacturer is, please chime in the comments. The tailgate that we had repaired has already become damaged. It's even worse than what it was before, because it was just a little bit of corrosion there, but you can see that what's happened, because the car's been idle literally for the best part of 6 months, all the paint filler and everything has just started to come off. So shoddy work, I guess. And yeah, we need a solution, because I want perfect tailgate. I don't like the corrosion. I'm pretty certain there must be something we can do, either by ceramic coating the door or something here to just stop the water accumulating. Otherwise the rear is pretty much perfect. Obviously we could just paint this tow bar here, just get rid of the rust, and yeah, just paint that. I think this needs to come off, so we'll definitely deal with that. We don't want that to continue to corrode. This is probably the worst wheel here, where the center won't even allow the center cap to grip. Loads of corrosion there around the wheel, and you can see loads of corrosion just all over these sort of parts of the wheel there. And here, this exhaust pipe, again, there's a few chips, not as many as on the other side, but that could do with either being de-chromed or just being repainted, because obviously this is hot. You've got exhaust fumes, so yeah, painting it, it's only going to come off because of the heat. So I'm not sure how wise it is to paint the exhaust pipe, because as I say, it's always going to be temporary due to heat. And this is the final wheel. You can see just loads of corrosion there, there's corrosion there, and we could do with replacing some of these wheel nuts as well. But look how huge that brake is. I mean, it's absolutely massive. So that's why this car is expensive. And this is the front. I mean, they look like sort of $1.5 to $2 sort of brake sort of calipers. So absolutely massive. We'll obviously change these wipers. These look a little bit tired. I've just not had a chance to concentrate. We've got some scratches on this cover. We might get a replacement cover. I've noticed here that you can see that this, which is in here, so if you have one of these in your car, the technicians have removed it. So this must be one of the ways that the theft occurs. You can see there's this key on there. So this must allow the keyless entry. So if you've got a Range Rover and it has that padlock, remove this and just look at getting a replacement blank one off eBay and just paint it sort of the same color, and then leave this in the house, because yeah, that will really negate the theft. Here you can see I've already got some brand new center wheel hubcaps. That's nice and new. That's one of the older ones that's just filled with corrosion. This passenger seat just could do with a bit of a clean. I don't know where all of that has come from. At the top, yeah, this is really dirty and disgusting, frankly. And yeah, I'm going to be looking to get the car professionally detailed, because yeah, I'm not going to be able to live with that muck. The driver's side seat is okay. Center console's fine. I mean, I would love a new plate, and it's a little bit faded there, but you know, there comes a point really where you've just got to say, well, you know, where and when do I stop? But I do think, yeah, if we can sort this rip on the driver's side seat, that's rather ugly. Either just a repair there and a paint, or even just replacing the entire seat. This stalk here is a little bit faded. Again, we're just getting a little bit, yeah. So yeah, I'd like to replace the stalk. It should be relatively easy. Just the paint on there is a little bit faded. So yeah, these are all first world problems really. Just minor use. So the top is all okay. The rear is barely used. We could do with just cleaning these seat belts. As you can see, they've just got quite a bit of damp really from all the time the car has been stationary. So that's really all the cosmetic work that we're looking to undertake. And yeah, hopefully we'll get this Range Rover looking 100%. One of the trickier things to fix will be these doors. So you see when I open it here, yeah, it doesn't have the soft close, so I've got to kind of slam that one. But if you look at the driver's side one, so just open that door, yeah, that's got the soft close. You can just literally close it. And this door, again, yeah, that closes with the soft close. You don't really have to push that much. But certainly the passenger side, yeah, it's just the passenger side rear that isn't so great, and the passenger side. So yeah, something about the passengers that don't know how to get out of this vehicle. The experts have managed to replace all 20. So removing these bolts should be a cinch. I don't know where that black one's come from. Maybe he broke it and he had to fit one of his own one. So, and again here, unless the package had a black one, because that looked new, because that does look a bit odd. So at least we're not going to struggle to remove all of these bolts if we've got a flat tire or something. So here you have all the ones that were on the car. These are the 20 that were on there. I don't really care about the locking wheel nut. Nobody really steals wheels anymore, so I've replaced all of them. These are all the ones that are on the car, and I've got another replacement set so I can use whenever the car needs its tyres changed, or if one is damaged when replacing a tyre. So it's a very good practice to get some spare ones, but absolutely ensure that you replace all the ones that are on the car now, because there'll be different sizes. The Range Rover looks majestic, but as you can see, the third brake light is pretty faded. We're just going to nip outside and replace that now. We're going to replace this third brake light. As you can see, there's loads of fading all around, and it's snapped already. Now the OEM one costs around £200, and this is what it looks like. The part number, I know it's quite bright at the moment, but if you're looking to source this part yourself, that is the part number. There's also that label there. So we'll just drag this out now. And yeah, it looks much better than the currently installed one. So the first step is to dislodge this panel. Apparently you've got to be very careful, otherwise the clips will kind of snap off. I might actually do this with both hands. So let me put the camera on a stand. So it has come off. What you really need to do is grab it with both hands and just pull it downwards, and it will unclip. Trust me, it's quite tightly fastened on there. Next steps will be to unscrew. There are 3 bolts there in the center and on the right. These are 10mm, so you'll need a 10mm socket to remove that one, and that one. Be careful, there's a camera over here, you don't want to damage or break that. And here are the 3 bolts. As you can see, these are quite small. And then the final step will be to drop this down. And you should now be able to pull this out here. And you can see now this is firmly pulled out. You can lift this. Should be able to lift this. It's coming out there. It's come off there. You can now lift this up, and there are these screws that need to come off. There are, I think there's some Torx screws, so it's going to be there. So it's going to be these screws that you need to remove. We should now be able to pull this out. Yeah, and it's just lifted off there, and it's the cable with the blue and brown. So we're just going to flip this over. So it's this line here that you unplug. As I said, the one behind it is for the camera. And obviously that threads through into here. Okay, which is where it needs to get disconnected. So is it over here? Yes, it'll be over there. So the tricky bit is this rubber grommet, but you do have to just pull and force it through that gap there. it will actually come out. So hopefully, if I just continue, that should be the removal of this third brake light. The difference between night and day, looking at the old one and the new one. Before the installation, this all needs a good clean. The area is all nice and clean, so both the area here and where the third brake light will fit, just make sure that's all given a good clean. I've managed to thread it through. You just need to squeeze the rubber grommet and it will actually emerge, and you can see that here. And so that's ready to connect there. So for now, just place that in there. Actually, we just need to ensure that that cable is fully wired through. You need to ensure these rubber grommets are fastened in, otherwise water will leak and that will mess up all your electronics, and you'll be back here again with a major repair bill. Panel is securely back, and that's nice and solid, so the job is a good one really. So now we just need to verify that the light is actually working. This is what the new light looks like. Much better. Good news, it looks as if we have a good battery. You can see that's fully charged. It's only taken a couple of hours to charge the battery. Obviously the car was offline between December and May 2024, so it's good to know that we've still got a good battery. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm.